In India, we are constantly reminded that we have to run away from people who are trying to sell us something. But you see, there is always a reason behind every single belief that we have got. And for this particular belief, the reason is we think selling is scamming, right? But let me give you another perspective. Let me share with you a story in this particular video that is going to just change how you think about scammers and sellers, because there is a clear distinction between them. So one story I'm going to share with you. If you stay till the end, you are also going to know how you can recognize scammers and move away from them right from the time that you see them. Okay, so make sure you watch till the end, and I hope this will be helpful for you. So without much ado, let's get into it. Okay, so in 2021 there was this coach that I was following for a very long time, and in 2019 I had already got into the world of digital marketing, and I was always in the US kind of space, right, where Russell Brunson, Tony Robbins, all of these people were really big for me because they had something that I really wanted to, that I really desired, right? So I had been following a lot of people, and this one day I was just sitting and I was just watching the stories of all of my mentors, and this story that popped up from it said something like, I'm looking for 5 people who are looking to work from home and make $10,000 plus in commissions by simply selling somebody else's programs without having to deliver and so on and so forth. So I was like, sure, this sounds like a really good thing. So let me just go ahead and schedule a call with them. So I went ahead and scheduled a call. And by the time the appointment came, I had absolutely forgotten about it. But I was sitting in a cafe and this person just texted me and saying, hey, are you showing up for the call? And I was like, yeah, oh, I absolutely forgot. So I took the call in the cafe itself, and I was standing there for an entire 1 hour. This salesperson was so good at what he was doing. It got me to realize later on that I was the one who was speaking for 70% of the time. So that means he was doing his job really well, right? So towards the end of the conversation, I was absolutely sold on this particular idea that I could work from home and I can sell somebody else's offer and I can make commission from it. It sounds like a really good plan, right? If you could make $1,000 commission from a 1 hour conversation, would you do it without having to deliver anything? Sure, sign me up for it, right? And I was like, okay, how much is this program? And he said to me, $10,000. I was like, what on earth are you talking about? This cost $10,000. He said yes. I was like, there is no way I'm going to invest $10,000. And I absolutely, first of all, this is a lot. If you don't know, I'm from India. $10,000 is like 8 lakh rupees. I'm not going to invest that kind of money. But he told me, can I give you a different perspective? And I said, sure. And he said to me, Muz, you're already selling your service right now, right? And I said, yes, I already had an agency back then, so I was selling my service. So he took all of this information during the conversation. He asked me, yes, are you selling a service? And I said, yes. Are you booking in calls? And I said, yes. So if you're booking in calls, if you simply knew how to sell, would you do better on calls? Or would you be able to sell to more people? And I said, yes. And then he said, if you were able to raise the price that you have got right now and you would sell even more effectively, would you take this? I was like, if I could sell my offer at more price, sure. I mean, that makes sense. And then he said, if you got a job on top of that and you could make $1,000 commission off of every sale you do just to get the practice in and at the same time make money from it on the side, would you take it? Would it harm you in any way? I said, no, absolutely not. Now it's making sense for me to get in, right? Because yeah, I mean, I just need to make 10 sales and where I will be getting $1,000 commission and I would make my money back. Why not? Right? And then everything I make after that from my own agency is going to be profit. I was sold in that idea and I got off the call and I said to him, okay, let me have a conversation with my parents about this. I got in. He did all the objection handling. I was already sold on the idea. So I actually went to my parents and my brother to just convince them. So I was the one who was convincing them to get inside of this program, right? For me to allow me to get into this program. So I already had my own money. So I had to invest it, but I had to have a consultation with my parents. So I sat them down and I told them this is what I'm going to invest in. And they said, if you're 100% sure that they are not going to scam you, by all means do it, right? But at the same time, no, I understand that if you can make the money back, then surely do it. And at the time, I was also thinking that, okay, if I can make the money back, sure, I'm going to make the money back. Definitely, I'm going to make the money back, right? And I took the offer and I got inside this program. So this was a 2-month program. Now, before I move on to the story, let me share with you how the business model of this particular business really worked. So collaborated with who was one of the best closers, one-on-one sales closers I had ever seen in my life. He was really good at selling people. If he went on a call with you, he's gonna sell you. He is such a good seller, right? And is also a really good salesman. So both of them collaborated, joint ventured a company called. Now this company had two aspects of their business. The first aspect was for coaches who were looking to sell their coaching programs. So what the company did for them was schedule more calls so that salespeople can come in and close the deals on the call. So this was the system that they were selling to the coaches. The other part of the business was where they were training the salespeople and they were recruiting them in the same company for the coach that they were working with. So you see, this was a complete ecosystem. Now, really great business, right? Now you can take it and you can do it if you would like, but this is a great business model. Now, what it came down to be, right, it took 2 months for somebody to graduate from the closing program where we would learn how to close people. However, for me personally, it took me more than 2 months to graduate from it. It took me 4.5 months to graduate from the program because I was a slow learner. What happened was, during the time when we were going through the program, I was learning so much about sales that I was really applying it with my own offers, right? I was applying and I was getting some kind of results, small results. And then what happened was, like, in the 2.5 months passed by, and I thought to myself, from the coaching calls that we were doing on a weekly basis inside of that program, there were people who were coming up and sharing really good testimonies, right? These people were making $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 in commission from one particular sale that they were doing. And I was like, I'm also going to make these kind of commissions. So I'm pretty excited and pumped up about it. But at the same time, if this is true, and people are getting results from it, now this would simply change the lives of Indians. If the Indians knew how to sell and they sold for an American company which had programs of offers of $10,000 or $5,000, and they simply took a cut of even $500, 40,000 rupees for 1 hour call, and you just close the call, you don't have to deliver anything, you just close the call, you took the commission and you can move on, right? I mean, isn't that life changing? How many calls can you close a month? The better you get at selling, the more calls can you close, the more money you can make. There is really no limit on how much money you can make from this, right? But we have to stick to be able to make it. That's a different scenario, but this would be life changing. So what I did was, I did a workshop on December 4, 2021 in this office, and I got a projector and we started doing the presentation. People loved this idea, and towards the end of it, I just presented software, right, which was the program that I was personally enrolled in. And I got them, and they saw this, and they made the decision to invest in this program. 2 people made the decision to invest in this program, right? And when they invested in this particular program, they got in and they started learning from it. From the first month, second month, 2 months went by, everything was working great. They were having a great experience, great time in learning how to sell, right? Because this program was really good in showing us how to sell, right? So it was amazing, it was going great. So I thought, okay, this is going great, how about I can help more people to get in and take advantage of it while it's still here. So I did another workshop on January 23rd, 2022. And this time I brought in 17 strangers, and one of those strangers actually made a decision to invest in this program, right? Now, when they invested in this program, she was the fastest learner amongst all of us, right? It took me 4.5 months to get graduated. It took the other 2 people, the first 2 people who joined after me, some time longer than 2 months to completely graduate from it. For her, it was just 2.5 months or 3 months to graduate from it, which was super fast. She was learning so well, and then towards the end, she got a job, right? And she was allowed to get a job, but she didn't take it because it was against her religious beliefs. But she was such a fast learner, and for some reason she wanted to have a refund, so they gave them 100% refund, and she got off. She got the full $10,000 and got off. By this time, the company started becoming shaky. By shaky, I mean they were having a conflict between the coaches with and at the same time with other sales people that they were training. So there was a big conflict between all 3, because of which the business started to fail. They made a decision, to sell the company to the altogether. He would move out, right? But what happened was, as a result of this particular conflict, there was no job that they could offer to the people who were already enrolled in the program. So mind you, I was the first person to join from India who invested $10,000 inside of that particular program. Before that, all of the people over there were Americans who made a decision to join. Then after me, a lot of Americans as well joined, right? And then after me, 3 other people from India joined. One of them took a refund and went away, right? But the other 2 joined because they wanted to get a job. Even me, I joined So just because I wanted to get a job myself, but they didn't have any job to offer to the other two people. For me, I was able to get a job on my 6th month with them, and I got a job on the first month. I couldn't close anyone. There was like 50 calls that I could do, 50 to 100 calls that I personally took, and I couldn't close anyone. The next month, I was able to close around $4,500 in commission. But in total, the amount of money that I have made the company that I was working for was around $99,000, right? And I was paid $7,500 for it. That was still really, really good, right? But then there was another person in the same company that I got in. He was also closing for it, and he was from the same program that we were all invested in, right? His name is Josh, and Josh was super, super good at closing, right? He took the time to learn and analyze on how to close, how he was doing on sales calls, how he could get better, and so on and so forth. The first month that he did the same thing with me, the same month, he made around $4,000 to $6,000 in commission. The next month he made around 9,000. The next month he made around 20,000 plus in commissions for the same company that I was personally working for. I was expelled from the job just because I was not good enough, and he was really, really good at what he was doing. The other two people who were invested after me didn't get any jobs, and these people were not even responding to give them a job in the first place. So I had sleepless nights after that, and I didn't know what to do. I was expelled from the job, and these two people didn't get the job in the first place because it was taking them very, very long to get out of this program, to graduate from this particular program, right? They didn't get the job, and they were shutting down the business altogether. So all of this was happening, and I couldn't sleep because these people invested inside of this program just because I showed it to them, right? I showed it to them because I really wanted to transform their lives, but nothing was in my control. They were closing the business, and I had nothing to do with it, right? So all of these people didn't pay me $10,000. They paid $10,000. So if I even had the money, I would have paid them back. But what happened was, when this company was closing down and they were not giving the jobs and so on and so forth, the company was not responding or taking any tickets for support and so on to help us at least get some kind of money back from it. What I did was, I texted and I told him I had these people join the program on my thing, right? I made them, I got them to join the program, right? I'm going to be responsible for this if this is something that you do not even consider happening. Was so generous, and he kept on responding. He kept trying to troubleshoot the problem that we had, and he said to us that, hey, we are going to refund the other two people $5,000 each. I told him, you do not need to refund me the money, just refund them. If you cannot give them all the money, give them some kind of money. So he gave the money back, right? He gave at least $5,000 money back, but the other $5,000 went into coaching us for all the months, so they didn't give the other $5,000 back. Me, I didn't get any refunds altogether. But at the same time, there were other people in America who had invested in this program, and they didn't get any single penny back. Just us. Only we got the money back, because I had a full-fledged conversation with to give the money back anyhow, right? But the other people who didn't get the money back, they tried to sue the company and whatever. I don't even care what happened after that, right? But at least we were able to get some kind of money back from this. So why did I take so much time to share this story with you? So you see, there are two big lessons over here. The first and foremost lesson is that there are scammers, period. It doesn't matter what part of the globe that they belong to, there will always be a portion of the population who will be scammers. But there is a clear distinction between scamming and selling. Scamming is when a person wants to make a quick buck off of you just to make their own lives better for a very small period of time. Selling, on the other hand, is the ultimate service you give to someone when you genuinely want to transform their life for good, right? For a very, very long time. When you transform someone's lives, they take it until the end of their lives. That is the difference between selling and scamming. The second very important lesson that I learned from this is how to not get scammed. Okay, I'm going to share with you 4 points that you can apply today itself to stop getting scammed moving forward. The first thing is, study the person and not the testimonials and offers that they give you. Now, what do I mean by study the person? You see, when you're watching YouTube videos and you go to this particular person's webinar, you saw the webinar and then they made you an offer. You love the offer, so you go ahead and purchase the offer. No, when you watch somebody's content, when you go inside of their webinars, you go to their workshops, See what they are saying, what they stand for, what is their value system. When you see the values of the other person and your values match to the other person's values, only then invest in the program, because only then you wouldn't have what we call buyer's remorse. We join the program and we see we do not even relate with this particular person. What they are saying is against your values. Even if you do not clearly define it, it will not match your values. You wouldn't match the vibes with the other person. So that is the first and foremost thing. Study the person and not the offers and testimonials. The second thing is, see if what they are teaching is actually what they are doing personally as well. Now, what do I mean by this? There was a recent scam that went ahead of this particular trader, and she had made 100 plus crore rupees by selling courses, right? And she was teaching how to trade and make money off of trading. When an investigation was situated on her, they figured out that she was in her trading portfolio was at a loss of 3 crore rupees. So she clearly wasn't making money off of trading, she was making money off of selling courses. So if we or the person who bought her courses simply studied if she made money, if she made more money through trading or if she made more money from selling courses, they would have clearly understood what they were supposed to do themselves, right? Which was selling courses. If she had made money, so much money selling courses, and she's teaching you how to make money through trading, there is clear difference. If you see a coach who is teaching you something and they are personally doing something else, then you know what to do, right? The third thing is, don't invest in programs with your life savings. Now, this is a lesson that I learned a very hard way, that I really want you to take home today. Okay, which is, never invest in programs with your life savings, right? Invest in programs, invest in anything, period. Anything that you do. And if you decide to invest in anything, only invest the money that you can afford to lose, right? Never, there will always be circumstances where some things are not going to fall into place. Maybe you won't be dedicated enough to go ahead and execute this particular thing. However, if you simply could afford the money that you could lose, only then you can go ahead and invest in this. If you're investing your last bucks or you're taking a loan from somebody else to invest in particular program, never do it, because that is going to ruin your life. That is going to put you under pressure, in such a pressure that you cannot even take all of the learnings from that particular program and really put it to use, because you're under pressure of making the money back, right? So always, I would highly recommend, never invest in programs with your life savings. And that brings me to the final stage, is whenever you're investing in programs, invest to learn and not to make the money back. Now, what do I mean by that? Remember when I mentioned that I got inside of this particular program to make the money back, the $10,000 program, just because I knew I could make the money back? You see, when we have that kind of mindset, then we are preparing ourselves to just make the money back, right? We are not thinking that we are going to develop a particular skill that is going to change our lives and how we operate as a particular individual. The good side of joining program at that time was that I was able to change my own prices of the services that I offered. At the time, I had an agency where I was selling my offer at $1,500, $1,250 for the services. However, after joining this program, I learned how to sell. I was able to go ahead and charge $10,000 for the same service without changing anything for the service that I had, just because my mindset was changed. Now, this wouldn't have happened if he hadn't sold me, if Kevin, who was the person who sold me on this program, didn't sell me on this. So you see, just one sale got me 10x. I made the money back from just one sale, just because that person sold it to me, right? If we sit down and think that we are investing in this program just to make the money back, we are in the wrong game. We have to start thinking that if we are joining this program, I want this particular transformation, I want to learn this particular thing, and if I learn this thing, my game is going to get changed. Okay, so you see, one sale changed my life. It can change yours as well. But first, you have to decide to change your life first. You have to sell yourself first on selling, because selling is the ultimate gift you can give to yourself by simply learning how you can serve people at the highest level and give them the ultimate service, which is of selling. Okay, so learn how to sell, learn to get sold to, because one of the greatest salespeople in India are the greatest buyers of all time. So if you're not a good buyer, you're never going to be a good seller. And if you simply understood the difference between selling and serving, you will serve yourself at the highest level, because you have sold yourself to the idea of selling. Go ahead and keep selling, and I'll see you on the next video.